Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Anton.
I'm Sarah Vesela.
I'm Frederick Philip von Weiss, and thank you for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people behind the technology that love what they do
And do tech good.
And we're doing tech here at DevFest Florida 2019. Brian, where are we at?
We're in Orlando, Florida at
Oviedo Mall.
Yeah. We've been here all day for DevFest, and we got a lot more speakers coming up. And we're talking to a sponsor. Do you mind introducing yourself to our audience?
Hi, everybody. I am Whitney Livingston. I work for TEKsystems, and we're sponsoring DevFest today here in Oviedo. And so far, it's been a really cool event.
Oh,
It's been awesome.
that's so cool. So tell us a little bit about, first off, before we get to your company, about a little bit about you. What exactly do you do there?
Yeah, so I'm an account manager for TEKsystems. I've been with them for 3 years, and I primarily work with Disney as my main account.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so the mouse. I love the mouse.
Yeah, we all love the mouse. Yeah, Disney's the best.
Yeah.
So what does that relationship look like then with your company and Disney?
Yeah, so we worked with Disney since I think 1997.
Wow.
We've been
long
a
time.
strategic partner with them for both staffing and services. So whether it's hey, I need one person on my team or 5 people on my team, or hey, I need you to completely outsource and take on this project and complete it and bring it back type of thing. So we've worked with them in multiple capacities, and not only here in Orlando, but also on the West Coast.
Okay.
Nationwide.
So is the company mostly in Florida, or is there more locations?
Yeah, so we have over 100 locations nationwide.
Wow.
TEKsystems is the largest staffing and services provider in the United States. So
Okay.
we have over 4,000 recruiters that work with us.
Wow.
We've been around the industry for a long time.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
So what sets the company apart from maybe other companies in the space?
That's a really good question.
Oh, thanks.
You're good at asking questions. So I think training, the way we bring in people that maybe have never recruited before or haven't been in IT. When you think about most recruiters that you know or not, a lot of us aren't technical. So the process and the time and the money that's spent taking someone who knows nothing about IT, teaching them within a niche skill set, because we're all skill set aligned, not only from a technology perspective, but really to value what's in it for the developer, what's in it for the manager that you're working with. So they really train you of a servant mentality mindset, and it kind of along with business, and then that helps you to have relationships in the market, helps you to build out your networks which ultimately help you to place people at companies, because the last thing that you want to do is just have a long list of a cold calling list of people that you're calling, and then you don't really know anybody. And
Sure.
so the goal is to build those relationships and really become a community within the dev community.
And that's
a
what
part of
brings
the
you to
dev
DevFest
community.
and
Yeah.
how you became a sponsor.
So back to your question, I think training is what sets us apart, and really teaching and instilling the servant mentality and quality into new recruiters as they get brought up through the market is what sets us apart.
That's interesting. So when do people not the business side, but when do people come to you when they just, hey, I'm looking for a job? Can somebody come to you essentially like a headhunter, if you will? Like, I'm sure, excuse the term, but can they?
Like from the client side, or
yeah.
So either way, we kind of get it from all angles. Like we have big companies like Disney and EA and Wyndham that we work with, Marriott. That obviously we've been with them for a while, so we're a part of their vendor programs. They know us very well. But then we have other smaller companies, like we have Convergence Data System. That's an awesome company here in Orlando, and they came to us a long time ago, and we've been helping them ever since. So it's both, I would say.
Oh, okay, excellent. Yeah.
No, I got nothing.
So this is your first time at DevFest?
Yes,
So
it is.
What do you think so far?
I think it's cool. So most of the meetups that we're a part of in Orlando, some of them are this big, but
Okay.
this one's really large. I wasn't expecting the turnout that we saw today, it's really cool that it's in the mall because there's 3 different rooms and 3 different areas that you can kind of be a part in and go to. I just met one of the speakers, Kyle Paul
Oh yeah.
from Google, and
Yeah.
he seemed really, really cool, very knowledgeable. It's awesome that he gets to go around to all different parts of the world, really. I found out it's outside of just the US.
Mhm.
And he knew exactly which market had which technologies and which technologies were trending in certain skill sets versus others. And just to have that world view and then bring it to DevFest for the local community is really awesome. I think it's great that they do that and that we're a part of something like this.
Yeah, that's so cool. How did you all actually get in connection with DevFest? Like, how did that relationship?
Yeah, so this isn't the first year. We've sponsored DevFest
Okay.
before. So our recruiters, we reach out to the local community and people in the local community to make sure that we're sponsoring different events, whether it's Tech and Beer or a React meetup or anything like that. I mean, we are interconnected into the community, so we know when things are happening like this.
Mhm.
But DevFest, actually one of the people on the board is named Siva. And
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we know Siva from way back from Disney. And
Mhm.
so he reached out and we wanted to keep that partnership. So we came and supported.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Are there any talks or speakers that you kind of actually were curious about and interested, enjoyed? Like,
Yeah. So to be honest, I have not looked at the roster list today.
Okay.
That's terrible.
No,
That's
it's
terrible.
not.
No,
It's
you-
honest.
yeah,
As
yeah.
a sponsor, you have a lot of other things to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, I was more worried about like, okay, we got to get the swag here, we got to get the booth set
That's what
up,
I'm
like we have to
saying, yeah.
make sure. But also our recruiters are the ones who have been talking to the local market about this specific event today. So unfortunately, I haven't been a part of the discussions of which talks they're going to go to, but I was planning to go to Kyle's talk. I think it's at 3.
Yes, I think he said
Yep.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're talking to
Yep.
him at 5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's like a meetup afterwards
Mhm.
or
Yeah, the after
Yeah.
party.
after party. That's really
Oh, is
cool
there?
too.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
No one told me.
It was
Yeah.
the after party. I told you.
I wasn't invited.
It's like
You are
on
invited.
DevFest's
No.
website.
You're actually on the list of people going.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, would have been nice to know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you for letting
Now
me
you know.
Now
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
People are looking forward to seeing you.
No, they're not.
They are.
That's no.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's fantastic. So I guess how should people connect with TEKsystems? So if there are people out there that are looking or that are like, maybe, it'd be interesting to find out what TEKsystems has to offer. How do they find you?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can go to TEKsystems.com. It's TEK Systems. I would also recommend, since we have 100 different locations, that you type in TEKsystems
Regional.
and then
Yeah.
the city
Yeah.
that you go to and call into the local office. And then you can go from there. I mean, with any developer trying to locate a recruiter, I would say, once you find a good recruiter, just hold on to them
Yeah.
and let them be your eyes and ears within the marketing community, whether it's pay rates that you're looking for to make sure that you're being paid at the level you should, whether it's advice on your resume, whether it's knowing what the different cultures are like within each company, because every company has an extremely different culture. So yeah, once you find that person, hold on to them.
What about on the other side of the coin? If I'm a business, I'm a small to medium-sized business, and I want to reach out to you and say, I have a need for, I'm opening up, I have 5 new development positions open, and I need somebody to develop in X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. So I would say along the same process. I would
Yeah.
type in, TEKsystems, and then the city closest to you, it will pull it up,
Mhm.
and then you call into that number. If you're familiar with LinkedIn, you could also just probably look up the people and then message one of us.
Yeah.
If that's easier. But yeah, I would say Google's probably how you can find us.
Nice.
The
Okay.
easiest. Yeah, for sure.
So how did you actually get involved yourself into the company, into TEKsystems?
That is a long but good story.
Good. I love that. Here we go. Buckle in.
No, so I used to do recruiting for physicians. I
Uh-huh.
was telling them about it. It's a different skill set. And then one of my friends was a senior account manager at Disney. So I kind of stepped into her job. And this is across the period of 3 years. I don't want you to think like, oh, I stepped in and kicked her out. Oh my God, no. No, she taught me a lot of what I know today. But she had worked at the company, and I was at the beach with my friend. My friend was like, oh my gosh, I heard about this company called TEKsystems. Like, they have quality training. They can bring you in, ramp you up. It's awesome. And so she got me on the phone with her friend, and then I interviewed and got into the company. So recruiting it's not something that you plan on. Like, if you ask anybody, what do you want to be in 5 years? No one really says, no one really says recruiting.
So you heard it here. If you want a job, go to the beach.
Go to the beach.
You'll get a job.
And then you'll find a friend who knows somebody, and they probably know TEKsystems.
Was that your,
great.
what was your path in school? Like, what were you?
Healthcare administration.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to be the CEO of a hospital. That's what I wanted to be, which is so weird.
Huh.
I know. And then I went into that. I interned with a healthcare group, actually worked in healthcare for 6 years. And I love healthcare with everything in me, but I don't know. I loved the thought of hiring people, of bringing people into a new organization. And that's how I got into recruiting for physicians.
Oh,
so
I
it
see.
kind
It tied
of
into
went
that.
there,
Yeah.
and then I started recruiting for physicians, and then went into the IT space.
It's so interesting how our passions meet these opportunities.
Yes.
And you can't predict where you're going to be in like 5 to 10 years. It just kind of happens. You're like, where am I? Wait, where did I go to school for? And like, oh, yeah, it's amazing. You never know. Yeah, but it's always a good place that you're very happy with.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy because I think about the person that I was when I joined the career world in healthcare to the person I am now and the business acumen that I know now. It's just 100% different. It's crazy. You just learn so much.
Oh, yeah.
As you grow in your career. So.
What other kind of things that people might not know about the company that you might want to get out there?
Yeah. I would say not a lot of people, not a lot of developers or anyone in IT really knows that the advantages you can get from aligning yourself to a recruiter, even if you're not looking for a job.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's hear that.
So if you're a developer, it's you know, and the goal is to have one person that you really build a relationship with, no matter what company it is. If you find a recruiter and they know what's going on in your market, you not only want to align yourself to them, but you want to be their friend. Because what I don't think that people realize is every morning recruiters go into these meetings, right? And we're each siloed, and recruiters are siloed into skill sets. Account managers are really siloed into companies. And during these meetings, recruiters and account managers come together, and we're talking about what companies are hiring, what are the pay rates, what are the skill sets that they're looking for, what are the cultures like.
Yeah.
So this dynamic comes together that not a lot of people get a part of that. Not a lot of people get a piece of what's going on in the community as a whole. Even when I'm talking to managers at one company, they're asking me, hey, can you tell me what's going on in Orlando across the board? Like, what are the typical pay rates? What should I have on my resume? Like, does this look good? Does my LinkedIn page look good? Do managers even look at that? Because they do. There's just a lot of different things that I feel like you can align yourself to a recruiter and just check in every few months. Hey, how's it going? What's out there? You know, what's new? What meetups are new? You know?
Yeah, there's definitely, it's very advantageous to have somebody that you could have a career discussion with, as far as, you know, am I doing things right? You know, does my salary match what's currently out there? You know, you have your ear to the ground. What do you think I should do at this point? Am I good to stay here? Do you think there's other opportunities? Am I presenting myself correctly, even within my own company?
Yeah. I just had someone ask me yesterday, like, hey, Whitney, I'm thinking about shifting into big data and Hadoop and, you know, that side of skill sets. Is that a good move for my career? Should I stay here? And, you know, we gave them advice on that. And then the day before that, I had a developer call me who used to work for me. He no longer works for us anymore. And he was like, hey, my company just asked me if I wanted to promote, if I wanted a new job, and I want to ask for a promotion.
Sure.
Well, how much do you think I should ask for? I was like, hey, well, you should ask for this much based on how much you're at now. And so he's not even working for me anymore, but we have that relationship. I've known him for years. And so it's just it helps him out, and he helps me out because he gives me knowledge all the time about IT stuff that I don't really know personally. So yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. I love that.
Yeah, so it's like a career advisor that you don't have to pay for, honestly.
Yeah.
So I think it's very advantageous. And on the manager side too, like a manager reaching out to say, hey, IT labor market is tight. There are a ton of jobs open and not a lot of developers. I need the top of the top, Whitney. So how do I attract that person? Because at that point, when there are 1,000 people with that niche skill set and only 20 of them are looking, and maybe only 5 are looking at that career industry, it becomes a sales. Like they're interviewing, yes, but within 10 minutes, you know that developer is right for your job. And then it becomes you convincing them to take your job over the 5 other ones that they have available to them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and maybe you can't offer a remote and another company offers full-time remote. So how do you convince them to take your job? You know, if you don't have as high of a salary, or you can't offer remote or other benefits like that. So there's just a lot of things that we go through every day that people working in IT don't even think about. And it would be very advantageous to align yourself to a recruiter just to find those things out.
I love that. That's so smart.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just thinking, so recruiters get so much hate. I mean, let's be honest.
Oh, yes.
Like
They do,
so
yeah.
much hate. And I hear people all the time like, oh, these recruiters on LinkedIn. And I've had my fair share of like, you know, oh, this SQL job looks great for you. And I'm like, did you even look at my profile?
Yeah.
But I will say that like when you do find the right recruiter, that somebody that you can really connect with and you feel like cares about you and understands you, it can be a great thing. So
yeah, absolutely, hands down. We have a bad rap, and honestly it's for that reason, because people aren't taking the time to really understand who you are. And to be honest, if you look inside the recruiting world and all of the top companies out there, even the smaller companies, a lot of them funnel in talent right after college. It is because they're not making as much money. They're just raw. And so a lot of times you have these newbies that are blasting out messages to everybody.
Painful.
Yeah.
And no matter if you're the best company like TEKsystems, or maybe you're the worst company that has no training, it happens across all levels. But I think to your point, once you find somebody, and you will, if you answer enough emails or, you know, in this industry long enough, you will find somebody that you feel like, that guy's on top of it. Like every time he calls me, he knows what's going on, or she knows what's going on. Keep that person's number and just align yourself to that person. And I think that will be very rewarding for you. But yes, I apologize on behalf of all recruiters for blowing you up.
But yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are just trying to make that conversion, get somebody that job. But it's amazing when you can have this relationship with somebody that actually cares.
Yeah.
And does have, again, their ear to the ground. They know what's going on and could really help you.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of that has to do with seniority. But I've also seen recruiters come in 4 or 5 months into the job, and they just have that personality of they care for people. They're not just a pick up the phone and dial. Like they really, they really care about you. So sometimes you can also find that with younger recruiters as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's almost
Yeah,
We
nothing.
covered
It's almost
everything.
time.
It's almost 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, so how can people find out more about TEKsystems? What's the URL?
Yeah, so it's TEKsystems.com, just TEKsystems. And there's some other companies out there that sound a lot like our name. So just make sure you type in TEKSYS. I spelled that wrong.
TEKsystems.
Sorry,
You were
I'm a little nervous.
No, you're fine.
You were overthinking it because you were spelling it perfect.
You got it. We'll put a link in the show notes. Well, Whitney, thank you so much.
Thank you
Really
so much.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
for having
everybody.
me.
We really appreciate it, and we'll see you in a little bit. We got more coming up. Take care, everyone.